Emmy and Golden Globe nominated actress and humanitarian Ashley Judd has over 20 film and Broadway credits to her name. Ashley currently makes her home outside Nashville with her husband, race car driver Dario Franchitti. Her mother, Naomi, and sister, Winona, are the legendary country music duo, the Judds. And Ashley is an 8th-generation Kentuckian on her mother's side.
I grew up with such an emphasis on the Judd narrative. I know so much about my mom's side of the family, and I can rattle off all these last names and follow those family trees quite far back. I would love to know more about my dad's side of the family. I had the amazing good fortune of spending every summer growing up with my dad's folks, my mama, Mary Bernadine Dalton, and my papa, Michael Lawrence Simonella, as well as my mama's mother, Effie Copley, whom we called Granny. I've got really good information about my papa Simonella and that classic immigrant story, Sicilians in particular. I know very little about my mama's side. I have a lot of curiosity about how her people came here, how they lived. I'd be really interested in knowing about the role that faith played in their lives. I mean, my own faith is really important to me. And now that I have, for some years, been working very actively as a feminist social justice activist in human rights and public health, I've started to become curious about whether or not there was anyone else in my family who agitated for reform, who fought for the poor and the exploited and the disempowered. It would be really interesting to know more, and a really good place to start would be, I think, with my dad in Louisville, Kentucky.
Ashley.
Hi, Dad. So today I am seeing new treasures.
Yes.
So this picture is really interesting to me because this is Mama.
Right.
With her mother. So she's my great-grandmother. Did you call her Granny? What did you call her?
I called her Granny, and her name was Effie.
And what I remember about her is that she had, you know, those deep-set eyes.
Yes. One of the things that Mom talked about was that there was a line that goes up into New England someplace, and I don't know much about that. One of the other myths that Mama talked about was that her great-grandfather fought in the Civil War.
Great, my triple great-grandfather.
Right. He was Elijah Hensley, fought for the Union, lost a limb, a leg, ended up in prison.
Why was he in a prison?
Because he got caught.
Would you imagine that some of that information is available online?
Let's look under military.
Hensley.
Right. Civil War records and profiles. Oh my goodness. Elijah Hensley.
39th Kentucky Infantry. I just got some information that's very much in keeping with what I was hoping to start to uncover. My next destination is Frankfort, Kentucky, which is our state capital, to look at military records to see what more I can learn about Elijah Hensley. Okay. That is amazing. Elijah Hensley, Company I, 39th Kentucky Infantry. Joined for duty at the age of 18. Wow. This is just the most amazing thing ever. I'm finding a lot of records, but what I'd really like are the stories that go with these documents. So I'm meeting with historian Brian McKnight. So my triple great-grandfather, Elijah Hensley, he enlisted on the 2nd of November, and by this company muster roll, he was captured the 4th day of December 1862, 32 days later. What is that about?
Well, in the research I've done on the Civil War in Eastern Kentucky, what you have is what is generally called a skirmish. In this skirmish, many Union soldiers were captured that day. So where he most likely was in a prison in Richmond, Virginia.
Okay. May, June, 1863, present.
He's present again, right?
He's present again,
He's
so
made
he's
it
back. How did was he rescued or turned loose?
As far as I can tell, he was freed in a broad exchange of Kentucky prisoners
okay.
in the middle of May 1863.
So he was held approximately 5 to 6 months.
Right.
So he's still present March, April, 64. July, August, 64, present. September, October, 64, absent.
Yes. So he was a prisoner of war twice.
So what happened?